Welcome to Express Delivery, a ministry of Highway Connections at highwayconnections.org. Was Jesus just a great prophet? It's certainly true that Jesus was a great prophet, one who spoke as God's representative. Anyone who performed such miracles and taught with such authority was bound to be recognized as a prophet of God by the Jewish people. Great prophets shaped the history of Israel, so they could easily recognize Jesus as fitting some of the characteristics of a prophet, a spokesman for the God of Israel. However, the question remains, was Jesus just a prophet? The Old Testament prophets toiled as covenant prosecutors, warning God's disobedient people about the consequences of rebellion. They also reminded the people about the blessings that God intended for them. Some of the Old Testament prophets were known for miracles. Elijah and Elisha both validated their role as God's spokesman with works of power. Droughts occurred and rains came. Oil and flour were multiplied. Fire fell from the sky. Leprosy was cured. Military plans revealed, and the armies of the Lord were made visible. God even restored life to the dead through their prayers in 1 Kings 17. Isaiah prayed for Hezekiah's healing, and the shadow on the step sundial reversed itself in Isaiah 38, giving him an additional 14 years of life. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel were given astounding insights into God's future plans for His disobedient people. Did Jesus belong to this elite group of prophets? Yes and no. Jesus was the prophet, the one foretold by Moses in Deuteronomy 18:15 through 18, which some in Judea expected to arrive as God's deliverer, John 6:14 and John 7:40. The Apostle Peter spoke about the Old Testament prophets and their anticipation of the coming Messiah. In 1 Peter 1:10 and 11, it says, "Concerning this salvation, the prophets who spoke of the grace that was to come to you searched intently with the greatest care, trying to find out the time and circumstances to which the Spirit of Christ in them was pointing when He predicted the sufferings of Christ and the glories that would follow." However, Jesus the prophet would do more than Moses, Elijah, and all the other prophets could ever do. Moses and Elijah, who embodied the law and the prophets, were together with Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration when the Father spoke His affirming word in Matthew 17:5. "This is my Son, whom I love. With Him I am well pleased. Listen to Him." The final revelation of God had appeared on earth, fulfilling both the law and the prophets. Peter, James, and John witnessed this event. Peter later wrote about it in 2 Peter 1, verses 18 and 19, saying, "We ourselves heard this voice that came from heaven when we were with Him on the sacred mountain. And we have the word of the prophets made more clear. And you will do well to pay attention to it, as to a light shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts." Thanks for listening to Express Delivery, a ministry of Highway Connections at highwayconnections.org. When you visit our website, simply provide your email, and we'll be in touch so you can get to know Jesus, God's Son, and learn how to live a life pleasing to God. Through Highway Connections God Speaks 101, you can get to know God and how to grow in your Christian life as well. We'd like for you to be aware of our other program, The Backhaul, which is a longer program with a deeper study of the Bible, God's Word. Thanks again for listening to Express Delivery. We wish all of you safety on the roads.